Go ahead.
First ask. All right. So, how do you feel about becoming a parent?
It was the most amazing thing in my life.
And what do you think defines a good parent in your terms? Like, what proper age is like a good parent?
Yeah, I don't know that it's an age so much as an attitude, just sort of accepting this awesome responsibility and putting it in your lap. It's tough at times, and it's fun at other times, and you take the good with the bad, and you just, I think you kind of develop it along the way, and really as long as you have their best interests at heart, you're all right. You make mistakes here and there, but as long as you keep moving in the right direction, that's the track.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I
Thank you.
appreciated your presentation for lifespan growth and development, and I wanted to read off I guess like a statistic to you and just kind of ask you how you felt about it. Well, there's a quote. It goes, "Many women put their careers on hold, leaving the workplace several times to raise children, which often hinders career advancement." Do you think that's relevant to, I guess, Texas or American society, or how do you feel about women, I guess, pursuing a career that they went to school for versus settling down with family and breaking away from that career?
I think it's a reality for a lot of women, maybe even most women. I know that I don't have kids, but most of my friends at this point do. My sister does. So I think it's really relevant because there's no paid maternity leave here.
Yeah.
So it is hard because at least for the first 6 to 12 weeks, the baby's life, it's primarily the mother who's responsible for feeding and all of that. So
Yeah, so a lot of time goes into it, so it kind of makes sense for women to leave a career to raise a child as well.
And it's tough. Ideally you'd have paid family leave, for mothers and fathers, and there'd be an opportunity, for parents to figure out together, assuming it's a two-parent family, how to distribute that work. I think it's an added challenge for women. I think, people figure it out. I have friends who found really creative solutions around it. So I'm a writer and I work from home.
Very cool.
So a lot of my coworkers have kids at home, they work from home, they build their own flexible schedules. My best friend's an attorney, and so she created kind of a new schedule for herself revolving around her baby, my sister too.
Yeah. So basically we're studying it's basically the transition from adolescence into adulthood, which is basically characterized by taking on roles that society would deem adult-like. I just very quickly before I let you go, I just wanted to ask you what experiences or behavioral changes you've made in a transition to adulthood.
A very broad question.
Yeah, three changes that you feel you've done differently.
It's been a while since I was a teenager. I'm 32 now.
Okay.
So, financial independence is big. So taking responsibility for, paying your own bills, your own health care, recognizing how much of that, falls on you. Other changes from adolescence to adulthood. I think taking responsibility for your actions in every way is kind of the biggest change, right? When you're a teenager, it's really easy to blame other people.
Put the blame on somebody else,
right? And fall back on your parents to help you out. I think when you're an adult, ideally you'll start to take responsibility for your own actions and rely on them to get you out.
Okay, so one more. You said a job, responsibility, and what's one last one?
From adolescence to adulthood. Identity. I think when you're a teenager, you really try to figure out who you are in the world.
Yeah.
Who you are in relation to your family, to your community.
You have a lot of roles, though, right?
Yeah, right. And I think that as an adult, you start more and more narrowing in on.
For sure. For myself, I've realized you figure out who you are, and you can kind of can cut away the things that aren't very important. You kind of hone in on the things that are significant.
Right. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you so much.
Sure. Hope that was helpful.
Yes.
It's Christy, and so what would you consider your idea of a really good friendship or any kind of friendship?
I think it's just being there for that person, regardless of what they're going through. Maybe you don't understand it, but you still support them while they're doing whatever they have to do. And I think it's just, you don't have to talk every day, but I feel like if you just, hang out, once in a while, and those friendships where, you feel you talk to them, maybe, once, every
you
month.
never stop talking.
But it's you never stop talking.
Yeah.
You just, connect with them, if it was, the first time that met them.
And then what do you consider love to be? What's your idea of love?
In my idea of love, it's just accepting that person exactly the way they are, like not trying to change them. Like I think that's one of the biggest things like that people don't get. Like you can't change people, like they are the way they are. And then two, it's just being there for them. And yeah, I mean, I feel like I could add more, but I don't want to write the whole.
Very awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Say, like, when you guys were, okay, when you were younger, what age did you think was a good age to get married? And then at what age did you guys get married?
When I was younger, I would probably say somewhere in the 20s, I guess, mid 20s. And how old were we when we got married?
I would have said 25, and I was 32.
So I was 28.
And what advice would you give people like for marital success? Because some people, you know, at first it sort of gets a little crazy, but then eventually, you know with teamwork. Sure.
I say like I personally have had a lot of friends that have gotten married really early, or I've known people that have gotten married really early, and I feel like the longer you wait, the better. I feel like the more successful you are in your career and who you know, like as a person, if you know yourself, then I feel like the longer you wait to find the right person, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. No rush. Take your time. All right, thank you. Awesome.
All right,
Thank you.
You have a good one.
So, what do you think that defines an adult?
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, we're living almost all generation at the same time. The older one is the baby boomers, the next one is Generation X, the third one is Generation Y, and the last one Generation Internet, I think. So, you're becoming adult only when you are responsible for your acts, and you are able to provide your own finances. Probably, that depends on the people. It's different what you're talking about. Some people I know, very people around 30s that they are like the kids.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Very true. And then my second question is to you, what advice would you give to someone my age or someone like my age? Like,
Or
I'm 19.
19, okay. It depends the subject. For example, if you ask me the same question for a job, you have to get one master degree in frustration, failures, because that's the only way to learn something about life. Learn about the older ones, but at the same time you have to create one bridge between the older generations, because the lack of information about the technology leaves you in a disadvantage, leaves in the disadvantage. For you it's very simple, the technology tool. Also, don't believe in everything about the school.
Yeah.
Question all the facts that they are giving to you. Be so much criticism. Learn more than one language. English is not the potato of the universe.
Yeah.
Be empathetic with people and try to travel around.
Thank you. I appreciate it for your help.
Awesome. Thank you so much, sir.